Alright, well, it's the 31st of March out here, Thursday, and came back out to play with this a little bit. First thing I did was to kind of support my weight on the seat and lean over a little bit, take a look, and lo and behold, the seat's like a big wet sponge, so it started just dripping out. So I went ahead and pulled the seat off, stood it up here, and eventually I have an idea it will drain. But yeah, this bike's been outside. Had kind of a motorcycle cover thing over it, which was not a waterproof deal. But so it's got water in it here and there. The turn signal there, guess we can see, it's got water in it, so I got to crack that loose, drain it out. And probably any other orifice that water can get in is full of water. So that's kind of where I'm at here. I've pulled the lid off here, and the smell of it, I might run it in the lawnmower, we'll see. So I got to take that hose loose, get rid of all that fuel, and then I'm going to have to tear this thing apart. Thing is, when I leaned on that seat, there's like a hole in the bottom of the plastic cover that drips right down in here. So I don't know if that's air cleaner or what that is. So I gotta get into the air cleaner, which has to come off anyway, so I can get the carburetor off here and give it kind of a clean and see what it's all about. At any rate, yeah, it's got a cobweb before, and gonna clean it up a little bit, I guess, and see about maybe making it run. Anyway, this little clamp kind of thing. A lot of the old bikes in the old days, we used to just have a rubber, kind of giant rubber band thing that held our tank on. But anyway, you got this kind of a clampy deal, so I'll throw it in the Volkswagen hubcap here, and then imagine, yeah, just kind of lift it up and wiggle it out of the. There we go. So that's kind of what I figured was going to go on. Couple of rubber mounts up front, and then it's got kind of a horseshoe shaped deal on the inside of the tank that slides down each side and then hooks in the back. So we'll get the hose loose here, get the tank off, and we'll see where we're at. I've given it some air, and you know, it's better than it was. Still a couple pine needles here and there. I'm going to go ahead and take apart the air cleaner next. I'll go for my usual disclaimer, and that is if I knew what I was doing, I'd be better at it. I've never messed with one of these. I have no idea, but I'm just winging it, so this is not a how-to. It's a how I'm going to do it. And anyway, this is what I'm working on now. So I'm going to go ahead, and the air cleaner's in behind here, so I'm going to go ahead and take that apart. The only thing I can see are two Phillips head screws here. So I have an idea if I take them loose, I'll be able to see something behind here. And that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, a perfect example of I don't know what I'm doing. So I was looking here, I got two Phillips head screws here, which I'll probably have to take out at some point. But I noticed there's another one kind of tucked up in behind this red guy up here that I can't really access well. So I got to looking at it, and I kind of think this is on some kind of rubber plugs, and I'm guessing here, we're going to try to pull this off, and there it is. So this is what we got. Two kind of horseshoe clips that go into a rubber mount here, and then a round type here, and it goes in right up here. So that leaves us with this cover, which is kind of where I wanted to be. Another pretty cool thing is we got some kind of things here, stats. Talks about idle speed, timing, valve clearance, spark plug, and blah blah blah. So That'll be a wealth of knowledge when I start messing with this later. Alright, I'm fixing to run out of battery here, but this is kind of why I'm tearing it apart. It's been sitting for years, and this is a sponge air filter, and those two things there are fingerprints from touching it. Check that out. Just from touching it, yeah, that's what happens to your sponge filter. Alrighty then, I went ahead and pulled the air box out of there. It goes this way actually. It had just two 10 millimeters, one up here, actually one here, here and here, and then little vent off of the crankcase here, gearbox crankcase that goes up here, and then this tube wasn't even attached to the carburetor, so I don't know what the monkey business is there, but I'm gonna have to make sure this is attached properly when it's all put back together, because it wasn't even stuck to the carburetor. I thought it might be a Mikuni. I don't know what it is. It's got TK on it and made in Japan, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean it out and put it back together. Hopefully I don't need a kit, but we're gonna find out. I'll go ahead and take it apart and see how it is. Alright, I just pulled the bowl off, and yeah, the float was stuck, I'm assuming, because it was full of gas, just nasty, gross. Anyway, and it looks kind of ugly here and there, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this guy up and put it back together, and yeah, we'll see if we can make this thing run or not. But basically I'm just going to clean it up and put it back together. Alright, it's getting later here, 31st still. I had to cry uncle and went ahead and put the body halves in here and a couple of the jet deals. All I really need to reassemble once it's cleaned out is a couple of O-rings. I need a little tiny O-ring for this guy. I don't know if we can even see this stuff. And another one for this guy here. And yeah, it's really all that I need. I could use one on this, but this one's not compromised. So basically I just need a couple O-rings and I can put this thing back together and run it. But I don't have O-rings, so I'm going to have to buy O-rings. Alrighty then, I think it's Fool's Day today, and what I did, I made some phone calls about getting a card kit, and one place will order it in for me, but they want like 4 times what I can just get one off of the Amazon for, so screw that. I'm not going to go that route. All I really needed was a couple O-rings, so I went to the getting place and got myself an assortment of O-rings. So I'm going to see if I have the right ones in here to replace what I need here on the couple parts that need O-ring, and put this back together and see if I can get it to fire up. Alright, reassembled. Nice and smooth, and going to reinstall and see how we do. Alrighty then, company's come and gone, but I'm fixing to put this back together, throw some fuel at it. This is what came out of the middle of the air cleaner. All that foam was crusty and no good. Well, I've got this, we'll call it inexpensive Volkswagen aftermarket kind of air cleaner. It's got the foam here, so I'm going to go ahead and it's the right width. Take some of this foam and make a filter around this little canister, and I'll be able to plug it back into its little assembly there, and we'll be good to go. Alrighty then, I'm calling it an air cleaner, and I got some it's just some MIG wire tying this together here, kind of lacing it up. But yeah, the local places wanted $20, gotta order it, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'll call that an air cleaner for now, and we can just keep it in mind that we want to order the correct one later, but I think it's going to do just fine. We'll give it a little shot of the air cleaner oil. I actually have some. Alright, draining this old gas out of the tank now, and then I'll put some new fuel line on it. Hook it all up to the carburetor there, put the air cleaner back together. I did kick it over with the plug out, and I've got spark. So, yeah, we'll have to give it a shot here in a little bit, but first thing is to get some fresher fuel. Alright, when I first turned the fuel on to this carb here, it was dripping out the bottom there. And anyway, I shook it around a little bit and tapped on it, and it quit. So I don't think I've got a problem. So I think I have the float bowl set right. I did it upside down, and by eye to make it level. I got to clean up this mess, and we'll see what's up. Alright, got it on reserve. Choke is out, and then there's like an idle screw here that positions that plunger up and down. And I went ahead and screwed it most of the way in. It's out a little bit, so it should run fast if it runs at all. So I shouldn't even need throttle here, and we'll just give it a kick. Wow. Cool. Okay, so that's choke. So let me put the choke in. Alright, it doesn't appear to like that. Choke out again. That hurts. I do not have the right shoes to be kicking this thing. Alright, well, I've taken the carb apart again and found one more orifice that I think was probably plugged up. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back together and see if it'll light up this time around. Alright, carburetor's reinstalled after taking it apart again. So let's see what we got. Oh, reinstalled, hooked up, blah blah blah. Choke. Oh, my poor foot. That was odd. Ouch! Alright, get my electrical cord away from the kickstand. And put it back where I started. He likes to walk. Kind of like I'd have to do if I was going to ride this. To walk. It's not having any part of that. Let's put the throttle thing in ways. Yeah, I know nothing here, so ouch. I know nothing except my foot hurts. These shoes suck. Ooh. That was odd. So, yeah, apparently the one plug orifice I found is my issue. I have no idea yet what I'm doing, so Okay, that's no choke. Son of a bitch. Okay, that was no choke, so let me think here. What I read was warm it up, get it running at like 12 to 1400 idle, and then adjust the fuel mixture to the fastest. I've got it set at 2.5 right now, so nice. Okay, that's choked. Now then. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let it warm up a little, hopefully. Call it a cold start anyway. I'll have to do a little more work with this guy, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Cool. Yes, we'll let it warm up.